When you choose a spouse, the hadith says there are several things that people look at. Al-mal, some people look at wealth. Al-jamal, some people look at beauty. Al-hasab, some people look at the status of the person. And some people look at the nasab, which is the lineage of the person. And some people look at the deen and the religion of the person. So many people don't understand this narration. When the narration says, فَضْفَرْ بِذَاتِ الدِّينِ تَرِبَتْ يَدَاكَ, the hadith says, become successful by selecting the one with religion, with character and conduct coupled with deen. One narration, the Prophet ﷺ says, إِذَا جَاءَكُمْ مَنْ تَرْضَوْنَ دِينَهُ وَخُلُقَهُ فَزَوِّجُوهُ. When a proposal comes from someone whom you are satisfied with their level of character and conduct, or in fact starting with the level of deen and character, then allow them to get married. Allow them to marry. You're looking at two things, character and deen, which means if the character is great and good or equivalent to yours, slightly higher, and the deen level is equivalent to yours, slightly higher, then you stand a better chance for your daughter to be in a home where she will be happy. Get them married. So why is it that when it comes to wealth and looks and so on, some people think that in Islam you don't look at looks. You don't look at looks. As it is, the women are supposed to be covered. You don't look at looks. That's wrong. The hadith didn't say do not look at looks. The hadith is saying you see all the points you want to see, but give the tip of the scale to the deen. Which means if you have someone who's drop dead gorgeous and they don't have any deen in them, and then you have someone who hasn't yet, killed you. You know what drop dead means? You die. They haven't yet killed you with their looks, but mashallah they can, I don't know if you can say drop unconscious gorgeous. That's a statement which is slightly lesser than the DD, So if someone comes and they are good looking, okay, they have a better deen in them, it is better for you to compromise the looks to a certain extent and make sure that the religion is intact than to go only for looks, because the plan of Allah is there will come a stage when that blemishless face will develop wrinkles. If you have loved the outward face, you will not be able to get along with that woman. Because if you have loved the interior, it only blossoms as time passes. With the wrinkles of the face, the wrinkles of the heart disappear. Have you ever thought of that? With the wrinkles of the face, the wrinkles of the heart disappear. Because now, when a person becomes old and aging, they develop a link with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They become better. They are worried about their death and the generations to follow, and their children and now their grandchildren. You now need to guide your sons and daughters how to get married. So we are looking for someone who is reasonable looking, someone who has a good voice. I made mention of that the other day, or was it yesterday, when we did say that, it's important to marry someone who has a voice that you are at least, attracted to. You cannot marry a person whom you don't like their voice at all. It's not like they are bad. Someone else will come along who will like that voice. This is why we tell everyone, sometimes in the Muslim home, we are suffering because people, and let's talk about some of the women folk and what the norm is. Because of television and the bombardment, you have a certain shape that is acceptable and a certain shape that the media has made you believe is unacceptable. I have come across men who have told me, I prefer a big woman. I'm just letting you know. The reason why I'm saying this is because no matter what size you are, someone somewhere will definitely feel attracted to that. Allah's created us differently. So don't think for a moment, I'm not really so good looking. Why? Yes, we should be healthy. We should be concerned, but not to the point of depression. Not at all. Because then the home goes. How does the home fragment in that? You find women prohibiting themselves from food. And after a while, they come to the sheikh. Sheikh, I think my daughter has a jinn. Why? She sees things. She sees things. What does she see? Like stars, like different things, and they're not there. I think there's a jinn. So people have come to me saying this, and we look at them completely anorexic, completely out of food and everything. You say, you know what, the jinn do not like dairy products. So the minute you have some dairy products, your jinn will begin to disappear, because that is, it's like opposite poles. And the jinn doesn't like red meat, certain proportion, and so on. And you find Wallahi, I have had cases where they then tell you after that Alhamdulillah, the jinn is gone. That was just malnourishment. You couldn't, you were dizzy whilst you were walking and all that because you didn't eat. And you didn't eat because you worried about how slim you should be. You know, today if a woman is more than 45 kgs, whoa, it's a problem. Why? Inshallah, you can go up or down, whatever it is, for as long as you are healthy, you can eat it and burn it. And this is why a better way than to abstain from food is to have it and burn it out. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala beautify our women for our men. I'm not talking about all the men, but I'm talking about the husbands, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us good homes. And may Allah beautify the men as well, inshallah. And the beauty of a man is more in his character and conduct than anything else. Believe me, if you have a man who's mediocre looking and his character is brilliant, he attracts much more than a person whose character stinks. Sorry to use that word. The character stinks, and he might be, you know, a very, very muscular, handsome man, you know. And people will say, no, 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 be careful, this guy's only got swear words from his mouth. And sometimes what happens is, a few moments later, or a few days or months later, people realize this man is not what the outward appearance says he is. The same applies. So this goes back to our point. When we are choosing, we can look at health, we can look at wealth, we can look at various other things. Just that I mentioned health, obviously, we know in the Sharia it's important to be healthy. And if we have health matters that need to be known by the spouse, you need to tell them prior to marriage. You cannot hide something major. If it's just a cough, don't say, look, I don't know if you want to marry me, I've got a cough. But if it is something major, then definitely it needs to be said. So we can look at the issue of lineage, the issue of wealth, the issue of status and so on. That is not to be given preference. If those come without the religion, we'd rather stay away. That's what Islam teaches us. Because the success, according to the end of the hadith, the true success is connected to those who have become successful with the deen.
إن الذين يرمون المحصنات الغافلات المؤمنات لعنوا في الدنيا والآخرة ولهم عذاب عظيم يوم تشهد عليهم ألسنتهم وأيديهم وأرجلهم بما كانوا يعملون يومئذ يوفيهم الله دينهم الحق ويعلمون أن الله هو الحق المبين الخبيثات للخبيثين والخبيثون للخبيثات والطيبات للطيبين والطيبون للطيبات أولئك مبرؤون مما يقولون لهم مغفرة ورزق كريم
لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله ما لنا رب سواه